You know, when you look at the game, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the Bills defense, but in a lot of instances, it wasn't like we were struggling to move the football. You know, we kind of ended up having some self-inflicted wounds, and I say that knowing that they created a lot of those things.
There was absolutely no panic on the headset from our players on the sideline, from our players on the field. Just a lot of calm, and you know, whether it's Josh in this case or any other player or staff member, just like we've been there a number of times before, and that's awesome.
All right, the two coaches from a fairly compelling Week 3 game in Buffalo, Rams and the Bills. Sean McVay ultimately lost, although he could have won. Sean McDermott won, although he should have lost after his team squandered the most dangerous lead in football, 28-3. That was the subject of this week's Rewatch, and Charean and I both went back, watched the game carefully, and we've got some takes based upon what we saw. Let's begin with the best player on the field for either team. Charean, who do you have?
I'm going with Josh Allen. Just the way he handled losing that lead and then coming back. I'm not sure what's more impressive, the fact that they jumped out to such a big lead or the fact that he brought them back, but both were equally impressive. I mean, he just played really well. 311 yards, 4 touchdowns, an interception that really wasn't an interception. It's unfortunate. That was the turning point in the entire game, and it's unfortunate that was called an interception. Tyler Kroft did push off, but Tyler Kroft had that ball, simultaneous possession. It should have gone to the offense, and then in which case you penalize the Bills for pushing off offensive pass interference, and they didn't do that. But just a great game by Josh Allen. And I can't say I've watched very many Josh Allen games, but he was so good in this game. Hit 7 different receivers, lost John Brown at one point. It didn't matter. 10 touchdowns, 1 interception this season, and the second highest passer rating. I just was really impressed with how he handled everything in this game, other than the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which I think leads into your player of the game.
Well, yeah, the unsportsmanlike conduct foul happened after Josh Allen was dragged to the ground by Aaron Donald on a play that included a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. That is the defensive lineman trifecta. The only way that gets better is if you pick it up and rumble, bumble, and stumble into the end zone for a touchdown. That's too much to expect. Sack, forced fumble, fumble recovery, and Aaron Donald was a force of nature throughout the day. Look, they double him, they triple him. He complained last week that he doesn't like being double teamed. He thinks it should be one-on-one because, yeah, there's no one who can handle him one-on-one. And he was around the quarterback all day. Josh Allen told me after the game that before it started, he said to Aaron Donald, "Take it easy on me today." During the game, he knew where Aaron Donald was wherever Aaron Donald went. You have to be aware of where the guy is. And what that does, it makes it harder to play quarterback when you constantly are thinking, where is 99? Where is 99? And one of the things Allen said is, if we see them again, we need a better plan for 99. I don't know that you can have a better plan because at some point you're devoting so many resources to stopping him that you can't stop the other guys who are coming after Josh Allen. But I agree with you on Josh Allen. He has that escapability and the ability to keep his eyes down the field and make something happen when he gets away from the rush. Sims and I talked about this earlier today, though. With Mahomes, it's a little more fluid, and it's a little more certain that he's going to make the escape and make something good happen. When Allen starts into that, it doesn't look as effortless. It makes you a little more nervous. And you feel like there's a greater chance that something screwy is going to happen because I think at times he does venture a little bit beyond what his capabilities allow. But it's good. It's better to be dancing on that line than to be too conservative because we see him fire that ball down the field. He makes great throws. He makes great decisions. He doesn't need to have his feet planted. He's a lot like Mahomes and Russell Wilson in that way where they can make the funny body throws off of different arm angles and different platforms. That's what makes him so good. So those were the two players best on the field by far on Sunday in that game. Give me someone who was better or worse than you thought he was going to be prior to taking a second look at the game footage.
I think it was Darrell Henderson, and I don't know if this is sacrilege to say, but I think the Rams are a better team right now with Darrell Henderson than they were trying to get the ball to Todd Gurley over the last 2 years with all his knee issues. His first career 100-yard game, and he didn't have a whole lot of yards, career yards coming into this game, but boy, he ran hard. He ran down the field, and we know this is a pretty good defense too. And it just wasn't the 32nd ranked defense that he was running all over, but I just thought he was really good, and he had 167 yards coming into this game and total in his career, and just played terrific. So he is a much better back, I think, than I gave him credit for at first glance.
And one of the narratives for the Rams going into this year was the committee approach. Wants to be like the 49ers. You don't want to have that star running back who sucks up all the oxygen, all the attention, all the cap space, and then you've got all the eggs in that basket. And when that basket breaks, you don't have a running game. So they wanted Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson, and Cam Akers. The problem is Akers wasn't able to play. He's got separated rib cartilage. Keep Dr. Needle away from him after what happened last week with Tyrod Taylor. And Malcolm Brown had surgery to repair a fractured pinky, so Darrell Henderson got the bulk of the workload. Ideally, he's not going to get those opportunities. The other thing is, the Bills couldn't stop him. Drive to start the second half. The Bills are down 21-3. Not nearly as deep of a hole to climb out of as 28-3. They're running the ball effectively. They get to a 2nd and 4. They throw. Second down, third down, fourth down. Just keep running the damn ball. They can't stop you. And to their credit, when they were down 28-3, because the Bills scored a touchdown after that failed drive, the idea was that the Rams started running the ball, and they came back, and they took the lead until Josh Allen took it back. All right, for me, Cole Beasley. I thought that he was better on second look because that guy's just always open. Whenever you need him, he's there. He converted the 3rd and 22 play. He had other big catches, targeted 7 times, caught 6 passes for 100 yards. So, all the talk about Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley is still getting it done for the Buffalo Bills. Who had a game they'd like to forget?
4th and 22, Mike.
4th and 22.
4th and
Sorry,
22,
4th
right?
and 22.
Yeah,
You're right.
For Cole Beasley.
Okay. You're right. Game they'd like to forget.
I'm going to go with Jalen Ramsey. If you remember a few years ago, he called Josh Allen trash, and I'm not sure he's going to be calling Josh Allen trash after this game. Josh Allen got him on some passes, and I just didn't think that secondary played very well, especially early and then again late. The third quarter, they kind of found themselves, but Jalen Ramsey ended up with 1 tackle and 1 pass defense, and it wasn't like they weren't going to his side because they did go to his side. They did go at him. And he just didn't cover very well. And if you're the highest paid cornerback in football, you need to be better than that. And I just didn't think he played a very good game. And Josh Allen got him.
And actually, it was 3rd and 22, just so we're accurate. It was a 3rd and 22 play. It felt hopeless. It felt as hopeless as 4th and 22, but it was 3rd and 22. And it was also 3rd and 22 earlier in the quarter when Josh Allen ended up fumbling the ball and getting the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty because he thought he was illegally horse-collared. Horse-collared tackles are allowed in the pocket. That was a rule the NFL tried to change a few years ago. It didn't change. And even though, and this is probably the only time this is going to happen, Josh Allen is your player of the game. Josh Allen is my guy that would like to have this one back because there were aspects of the game that he was upset about. And that's what he told me afterward. Guys should be happy. No, he said, I'm pissed off that we let the 28-3 lead get away. He used language to a referee that he knows he shouldn't have. He's expecting to get a fine this week for the unsportsmanlike conduct foul that happened after he was upset when the ball came out and he was pulled down by the back of his jersey and he thought that he was illegally horse-collared. And then he had a face mask foul. He's getting 2 fine letters this week. Because we know they dispense fines as an automatic proposition for face mask penalties. So it's going to be an expensive week for Josh Allen. Even though they won, he's upset with the way they won. 28-3 should have held. The offense was as responsible as the defense for letting the Rams get back into the game. So even though they won, he's not happy with it. And he's also not thrilled with the way they won at the end of the game. He told me about that controversial pass interference call. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to win that way, but I'm not going to complain about it. So even though it felt like a loss to him, the Bills get a win. It was an exciting game, and the Bills keep rolling. And they've got Week 8 coming up against the Patriots and Week 16 coming up against the Patriots. They got a Chiefs game coming up on a Thursday night. They're going to get tested again and again and again, and we'll see if Josh Allen and company can rise up.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.